See, it's a dangerous trend. I have spoken about power sector for a long, long time, since 2006, 2007. People have to understand, you know, how important this power sector is. It's a fear. If these particular entities under MECL is crippled due to mismanagement, due to incompetence, and due to greed, I repeat, due to mismanagement, due to incompetence, and due to greed of few, the state is going to have a disastrous future. I have seen people writing to the letter to the editors. I have seen lots of narrative being circulated in social media. These are not just general narrative or conversation just to point a finger at anybody just for the sake of playing politics. But these are reflection of the concern about the gravity of the situation. That is what the state is in. And unless it is corrected, I am saying that the state will have disastrous future. And what is the correction? The only correction is to throw out the chief minister and to throw out the to throw out the power minister. Nothing else. There will be no solution. They will not solve it because their intentions are different. Their priorities are different. So the priority is very important. I have said it in the house. Their priorities are different. They are not interested to solve this mess. And they are actually being responsible for creating the mess. You just look at recently how many officers were shifted again overnight. Somebody was asked to resign. What are those indicators? These are tip of iceberg. Who can remove an officer other than chief minister from the board of directors? People have to read between the lines. The gravity of the situation is so much that I am telling you my state is going to have a disastrous future. And I'm concerned. I want everyone to be concerned. And these can be solved only when you throw out the chief minister and throw the minister concerned from the gaddi. Somebody else have to take the charge. In the larger good of the people. Storytelling in respect of power sector by Dr. Mukul Sangma has been there for hours and hours together in the assembly. Whole proceeding will give you the inputs. Now look at, I had to request our then Honorable Chief Minister, my senior colleague, Dr. Didi Lapang, requested him, sir, I'm interested to probably take charge of this department because you had an Electricity Act 2003. And then that act provides you the whole, it's like a script, well-documented script to restructure, revamp, and revive power sector. And all the subsequent power policies are based on that mandate of that Electricity Act 2003. And I came up with a power policy. Now, you have to look at how to ensure that you don't end up buying costly thing. If you have a land, you have plenty of land to cultivate your vegetables, your chili, and you'll end up buying and spend your precious resources, limited resources. Now you have rivers, you have coal, which is being dug unscientifically. Result is that you have intervention from honorable NGT. So what was the policy? The policy was to harness these resources in order to make the generation company of the MECL robust and financially viable. Okay. And look at this whole process. You look at the policy, how much percent of the power generated was coming to the government. Free power, including the whole proceeds of the generation to the local affected people, meaning the project affected people. We refer to the local population as the project affected people. This would have been source of continuous, sustainable source of income for the generation company. Now then you have the transmission company. Where does the transmission company get money from? by transmitting the power generated and giving it to the distribution company. It is never going to be a losing company. Then your distribution company. Now your distribution company is compelled to buy power at a higher cost because you don't have your own generation. And you'll end up actually being subjected to regulation when you can't pay. If I'm buying credit from you and then not paying, what are you going to do? You will also sink along with me because you have your overhead. So therefore, this regulation is part of the mandate of the law. Every power purchasing company are subjected to this regulation if they don't pay. This is what happens if the shopkeepers, you go on buying on credit, and don't pay. One day the credit wala will say, please, I will not be able to give you on credit. So please understand the magnitude of problem and the complexities associated with this. Now what happens with the generation? What happens with the transmission? What happens with the distribution? Now there are many ways of making a distribution company capable of having a turnaround in the midst of challenges. And all the process which were linked for the the transition from the ME ECB to unbundling, the impact of unbundling, all these things were part of the policy decision. And therefore, you have to look at what are you going to do. Now you buy things which is costing you 8,000, you are buying at 26,000. You're buying something which is 16,000 at the rate of 50,000. Whose money it is? You send your vehicle for a repair, and you know that this spare part is 8,000 and he comes and gives you a bill of 26,000, what will you do? You will throw out that driver, won't you? So that is why I'm saying that you have to throw out the chief minister and the power minister, because this is exactly what is happening there. You want proof, I will give you in the house.